Rather than have their country invaded, German military leaders seek an armistice, an immediate ceasefire that will give the warring parties time to sit down and talk. Almost a year earlier, Wilson had presented his plan for a just peace.
When Wilson described why the United States was fighting, one of the slogans he developed was that the United States was fighting this war to end all wars. He said that the United States was fighting to make the world safe for democracy.
When Lenin takes over, he makes public secret treaties, and that basically shows that while the Allies claimed that they were fighting a war for right and democracy and human freedom, that behind closed doors they had negotiated these territorial exchanges of what they were going to gain when they won. And so this just seems like, they're just fighting a war of conquest just like Germany is, so what's the difference? And Lenin challenges the world to make its war aims clear, and Wilson steps up with the 14 points.
14 different headings of how the world should be reordered after the war to create what he called a peace without victory. And what he meant by that was that the world after the war would differ from the world before by ending these secret alliances, these secret treaties. He thought that the war had been so devastating to the participants in Europe that now they would be willing to end this kind of greed that had led to the war.
And history since then has been a contest over whose vision would win out, a realist view of that nations are basically bad and that they will fight each other, and you just got to build up your strength as much as you can and deal with others that way from a position of strength, or that nations are capable of cooperating.
That is, everyone looking out for everyone else's interest through a general international organization, an organization which came to be called the League of Nations. That was the centerpiece of Wilson's program.
That's Wilsonianism, or liberal internationalism, based on an arbiter, on an organization that could lift itself outside the realm of nations and alliances and make policy decisions, or at least assess and judge and hand down decisions on which nation was right or wrong in a conflict.
Even when the 14 points were first issued, Britain and France were not supportive.
They're not fighting for just high principles. They are fighting to defeat Germany, and they want a peace of vengeance against Germany, and they're fighting for territory. They expect German colonies to be transferred to them when the war is over, and they expect Germany to pay. So Wilson issues the 14 points. Clemenceau doesn't even read them until Germany sues for an armistice based on them. And so right there we're seeing the foundation for problems that will become clearer when the peace is actually being negotiated.